night service, we were eating supper, and the pastor was telling us how he was on the internet looking for some music to go along with the message he was wanting to preach, and he came across the song entitled, "He Knows My Name." Pastor sat there and cried like a baby. And he said, you know, I'm thinking about this great God of heaven who stepped out on nothing and made everything. And he takes time to know me and know me by name. He said he went out to West Coast. He said, I'm out there to preach chapel service at the West Coast Baptist College. He said, I'm sitting on the platform with the vice president of the college. He said, during the song service, he said, I knew nobody there had a clue who I was except a couple of students who are from my church. He said, to make matters worse, the vice president leans over during the song and says, now, sir, what's your name? He said, I leaned over and told him what my name was and started crying like a baby, thinking nobody here has a clue who I am, but there's a God in heaven who knows me and knows me by name. That happened on Tuesday night. Wednesday, the kids went back in the auditorium. They're going to learn it and surprise this pastor with it. Wednesday afternoon, I get a call. It's the youth pastor of New Manor Baptist Church, whose youth choir was singing the song on the internet, Brother Tony Shirley's. I talked to Brother Charlie, and I tell him the story that I just shared with you, and Brother Charlie said, man, it seems like that song's been blessing a lot of people here lately. He said, it had been just a few weeks ago, we had a missionary to Mexico in our service. He said, our youth choir just happened to be singing this particular song this night. He said, right in the middle of the song, the missionary jumps up off the front row, interrupts the whole service. And he says, young people, that may be just a bunch of words to you, the fact that this God knows us and knows us by name. He said, but it's real to me. He said, it hadn't been just a few weeks ago. We were down in Mexico driving back into the city where we're missionaries to. He said, my wife, my children, and myself. He said, I was the third car in line to go into the gate of the city. And he said, as we approached the gate, we noticed a roadblock, thinking it might be the police, but as we got closer and closer, we noticed men in masks. Assault weapons, automatic rifles. He said, I knew it was the drug cartel. He said, we watched as they went to the first car, 2 cars ahead of me, and they jerked the man out of the car and beat him to death right there on the side of the road. He said, they went to the second car and they did the same thing, jerked that man out, beat him to death right there before our very eyes. He said, I didn't know what to do, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He said, I watched as a man in a mask come to my car, reach for the door handle, let it go, and walk on by. He said, we just happened to be listening to He Knows My Name. He said, they went to the 4th car and the 5th car and they jerked those men out and they beat them. He said, about that time, we heard sirens coming up behind us. It was the police. He said, a gunfight ensued between the drug cartel and the police. He said, bullets were flying everywhere, those automatic weapons going off. He said, we didn't want to sit in our car and be hit by a stray bullet, so I did the only thing I thought about doing. I grabbed my family and I jerked them out of the car and we rolled over in the ditch. Yeah. He said, during all the melee of getting out of the car, somebody must have hit repeat on the CD player. He said, for 7 hours, preacher, we laid with our head on the ground and we listened to He Knows My Name. He said, I didn't have a clue how this thing was going to turn out, didn't know what was going to happen. He said, but I'm standing before you tonight because I can say I know this great God, but greater than me knowing Him. He says it's He knows me and He knows me by name. Church, I don't know what's going on in your heart life. Some of you may be battered by the storm. You may be walking through the deepest, darkest valley you've ever walked in life. But He did say, my sheep hear my voice and they know me. And He said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. And He said, you can even cast all your cares upon me because I care for you. When you're walking in the valley, you can smell the lily of the valley. When you're facing the storm, you can remember He stepped out on the water and He stepped on those waves and He said, peace, be still. And the waves ceased, the wind quit blowing, the lightning quit flashing. And He said, I know you and I know you by name. Church, whatever you're going through, you can remember He knows us. And He knows us by name. You listen as they sing this song, He Knows My Name.
He's in control of it. say that